Now, this energy, if we see each and every event in our life with that profoundness, things could change. Reason, logic, care does not matter. We're all, billions of us, are experiencing the same thing. Yet, we sometimes believe that it's all in our head, that it's actually not real. One experience shared by every single human being, and yet we doubt reality. Question is, why do we doubt reality? Why is there the need for this reasoning to exist? A mind is uncontrollable when it's reaching out for things. Think of it as a bird in a cage, a bird who flew for hundreds of years, never saw a cage, but then it was locked. A bird was locked inside the cage. Now, she does not know what it's like to live in a cage, so the bird tries really hard to get out, but is defeated by the cage, because it is a cage. We're all in a cage, most of us at least. A cage that does not allow us to thrive, perhaps the way we were supposed to be. Human body, I don't exactly know the statistics, but a human body can survive without food and water for a long period of time. Shamans, saints, people who do not care about anything that is irrelevant. These people perhaps can sense things, feel things that many of us will never feel. Most of the times it feels like I'm chasing framed things. Feels like I'm chasing dreams that I did not have. These were socially accepted, socially accepted dreams, which, because human mind is attracted to being proud, well respected, abundance, safety, security, no insecurities. A human being is attracted to these feelings of all of the things that I mentioned and more. Our work, if it's profound in its nature, if it's honest, anyone who has the capacity to understand and feel that power will, of course, respect and admire the toil it takes, from our default states in this default programming. These structures are set up where we take birth. In this setup, when we take birth, we we attach ourselves to what is accepted, to a framework. Sometimes, more than sometimes, a setup is quite appreciable, you know, because I believe now how buildings are constructed, how these every single thing that's there is constructed. Human beings have done pretty amazing things that should be respected. After all, a kind, I would say many of us were awake that we can only thrive in a harmonious relationship across cultures, across people, skin color. That is the only way humankind thrives. If we cancel out these chapters from history about slavery, it's the worst that slavery, one of the worst and the most evil things that human beings were capable of doing. Because of some, it showcases how stupid and how unintelligent these people must have been who considered people with extra melanin as animals. Some of them, I mean, a group of people, that's where it starts now. It starts with people. Slavery started with people who came up together and hated black skin, identified them with animals, and then years of pain, years of agony to children, their children, their children. At the same time, human beings have also made buildings. This building where I'm sitting to share my thought. At the same time, human beings have invented electricity, this device that I'm recording in. Our world lives in a contradiction. There is no right, there is no wrong, there is no gray area. Everything is a gray area. It's high time that we stop generalizing things because things are of complicated nature. If we begin to generalize, slavery will exist. We An individual should not have that much amount of power, or should not be given that much amount of power where he can generalize things. Let's say in budget, when a government introduces a budget, it generalizes people. It generalizes people according to their lower class, middle class, upper class. And once it does that, it generalizes how these people, how individual people are experiencing things. But the thing is, people on the lower, middle, or higher class, let's say on the financial, if we compare it with the financial part of it, we'd come to realize that, let's say, person in the middle class has more pain than the lower class or the upper class. Now, how can, you know, let's say, if not a bill, how can generalizing, let's say, you know, because how can we generalize pain? A lower class person who has, when I say lower class, I mean financial lower class. If someone is financially not that, but he has a family where he loves his children, where whenever he comes back to his home after a long day at work, after toiling, grinding, people ridiculing him, so on and so forth, when he goes home, he has the best life, a loving wife, children, stories, there's this warmth about the house. But at the same time, there's this person who has like a middle class life. Let's say he has somewhere around 5, 6, 7, 8 LPA package, lives alone, smokes cigarettes every day, drinks beer, does things he knows he does not like, ruins his life in a contradiction to who he was. What if he had pondered and thought about his existence and how everything in this world can be cured in perhaps deep meditative states? If not cured, we can find answers. We can find answers to everything. It's just these deep states where you can enter some doors which were locked, which couldn't be opened before, no matter how much you tried. It's there's this force generated by an experience. The impact is so profound in the body that the energy of that impact, of that experience, remains in your body. So you remember how you felt when that happened. Now, this energy, if we see each and every event in our life with that profoundness, things could change. Every minute could be utilized. Of course, these practices does not benefit the practitioner. It benefits people who may not want to have that experience in their life, to go deep in some states and dig out some truth, because they know it's a lonely path. They're fearsome of, you know, something that's not falling in the constructed framework. Our openness to what really consciousness is, when I say conscious in simple terms, what you see versus what is actually there.